Testing, check, check. Hello, welcome to Ninja Robot Studio LLC stream. I play video games and VR experiences and talk through them from a UX designer's perspective, and I play both 2D and VR games. And then we look at how would we translate this into XR if it's 2D game, and if it's already a VR game, how would we translate that into mixed reality or augmented reality if we were going to do that? And everything that I'm focusing on is on head-mounted displays, so not mobile phone XR, not mobile phone AR, but actual head-mounted displays like you get with the Quest and HoloLens or things like that. And I've been studying, I go by genre. I've done tabletop RPGs, and I've done platformers and training sims, and now I'm studying branching narrative. And if you don't know, branching narrative is a method that enables players to make choices and give them more freedom in their gameplay. Let me share. So on the right here on the browser, you'll see an article about and that the music in this game just keeps getting louder and softer, kind of annoying, but it's a great game so far. This article, I'll get the link for you, is talking about branching narrative. That it's a series of articles. There's 4. This is three. This is the last one in the series. You can read the history of how branching narrative came to be with the other 2 articles, but this one is talking about how it's set up and the different types of branching narrative. So normally in like a movie or something, you have a very linear story where you have no variation. It's very linear, no options. And whenever you play a game like that, if you've ever played a game like that, it can be kind of boring because you don't really have a choice in what you're doing. But with branching narrative, that solves some of that problem because you have variety and you have the ability to make choices. And this article shows the different types of branching narrative that are out there, or the most common, at least. And like String of Pearls is pretty common. This is if you ever played Final Fantasy games or Final Fantasy 14, the MMO. This seems to me to be more like this type, depending. 14, I think, is a little different. But you have a very linear story But then you can do side quests that go off and tell more stories or different stories. And then this seems to be kind of like what Final Fantasy XIV, depending on where you are, it's like a mixture. So these aren't like, these are kind of the pure versions of branching narrative, but depending on your game, it can be a mixture of them. Like in Final Fantasy XIV, for example, when you start out, you choose a class. And that class, depending on which class you choose, you're going to start in a different town, a different city. And that city has its own story. So then you're going to branch off into that city's story. And then at some point in the story, you're going to converge back to the main story. And yeah, with Final Fantasy, it does, with 14, it does this a couple of times. And then at some point, you converge, and then the whole rest of the story is the same. And it gets more into this string of pearls type at that point. But there are tons of side stories that you can get off into that have their own narrative as well. But those might be more linear, but they do have branching dialogue. But the dialogue doesn't really change the outcome of the story. So it can be a mix. There's different things that you can do. And then we also played Undertale, which is more like this type. The branch, it has many endings. You can choose. Undertale has like 3 endings, really. And depending on your choices, you get the different ending. Persona 5 would be another one. I do want to stream that one, but I have to make sure about licensing before I do, because they have a lot of music in there that's awesome music, but I don't want to get dinged for streaming that if I don't have permission to do that. So I'm going to make sure first. And then I might be able to figure out another way of talking about it even without playing the game, so I don't get, if that's an issue. And then there's also this like true open world kind of map of branching narrative where you have so much freedom to roam and to do and to decide what you want to do that there is a lot of convergence, but at some point there's going to be some kind of a lot of variation, and there's at some point at the ending there's going to be some kind of convergence. Pillars of Eternity is another really good one. If you want to check that one out, I did play that one, and Wildermyth kind of reminds me of Pillars of Eternity a bit. But this is a really good little series of articles, 3 articles, if you want to check and learn more about branching narrative. So this is also valuable for those who want to create training sims, like VR training, XR training, depending on the type of training. So the type that I'm from is the training safety with consequences. So this is perfect for safety with consequences because your choices really do matter, and you can make that so in your narrative, and branching narrative is how we do that. So branching narrative and narrative storytelling and writing of that interactivity with all the different variations, that requires a good amount of writing skill to do it really well, because you have to keep track of so many things. And so it is a skill. It's not something that you can just pick up and say, oh, I'm going to do a great job at it. Yeah, sure, you can pick it up, but is it going to be great? It takes experience, just like a lot of other skills out there. And it takes training and learning. So it does, just like a lot of other things. So, but yeah, what I'm doing is I came across this in my own work experience, and I want to learn more about it because it's not my top skill, of course, but I want to understand it more so that I can be more effective in my job. And I am sharing that with you so y'all can be more effective in yours. Yeah, so what I'm doing right now is I am studying Wildermyth. We played it 2 weeks ago. This is our 3rd stream on Wildermyth. And And what we did the first week was we just played the game and did a rose thorn bud analysis of it, which is what I usually do on each game that I play through, based on the pillars of gaming UX. And you can check out that video here on YouTube later if you want. But that is talking through the pillars of gaming UX as they're laid out in the book The Gamer's Brain by Celia Hodent, and thinking about the best practices for VR for XR, and thinking about if we know anything about branching narrative, which I don't, I'm learning. So can't really do a lot about the best practices for branching narrative because I don't know them yet, but I can about VR and about gaming and so forth. I'm sure there are some, but that's what I want to learn. So we did a rose thorn bud, which is, if you don't know what the rose thorn bud analysis is, that is where we do a really quick, concise, what's working, what's not working, what do we do about it. And I like using Post-its because it keeps it short and concise, and it keeps me from writing a really long dissertation that's really hard to skim later and see the highlights of. So that's one of the reasons I like the color-coded Post-its. And then I can take this and turn it into whatever output I want, whether that's a report or a talk or whatever. And then after we're done with that, we will talk about, okay, now if we are translating this into XR because it's a 2D game, what would we want to think about? And then last stream, I went through the recording of the playthrough and studied some things and learned some things, which I found really interesting, is that even though you have a branching narrative like any of these, there have to be constraints. And what I was able to identify rapidly in the constraints here is that the narrative constraints that they have in place here are that the battle classes. So if you select, when you select your party, your starting party, you always have a warrior, you always have a hunter, you always have a mystic. So this is a set constraint. And then when and where the classes show up in the intro of the story is always the same. The personality is what changes. So the randomization is in the appearance, in the gender, the personality, the name. Town names and the maps are also randomized. The towns and the maps are procedurally generated. And then the world maps and stuff. And then, so it's kind of like if you've ever played a tabletop RPG, like Dungeons and Dragons or anything, they probably got a set of roll tables, character designs, and so forth, and they just randomize and roll from that. So then this tells me that when we play this game, and you can go back and check out the videos, but they have, this has set up, the way they've set up this game is now there has to be certain things that have to be considered in the actual design of the characters, in the assets that are created, because now we have to be able to randomize what the character looks like. The outfits, I think, I don't know if the outfits are the same, but there's going to be some kind of constraint on number of outfits, hair, face, skin color, all kinds of things. And so they have to create the assets for all of these things that can be interchanged in a way procedurally. So then you would, if you wanted to get into game art design, you would then go in and study, well, okay, how did they break all this apart and do this so that it could be randomized? Same for whenever they place the characters on the artwork. Depending on what choices you make, the character looks different. Like here at the beginning of, can you see that? Yeah. This character, for example, later she gets some, she chooses a weapon and she gets some, here, let's see. So depending on which weapon you choose, way down here, that's because I went through and I screenshot everything because I want to play the game again and do a comparison of, okay, what actually is randomized here. So she chooses a staff. So now her artwork has a staff in it. And she chose some, I think these are called pauldrons. These are on her shoulder now. They weren't on her shoulders before. So that's going to affect, okay, now all of this branching narrative that we're doing affects our artwork. It affects all kinds of things, not just the story, not just the words they're showing on the screen. So pretty cool stuff that is just teaching, okay, how do we deconstruct this and figure this out? And then if we get into, like, you can randomize it, re-roll. And then you can choose how many calamities you're starting with, and that probably affects the intro in some way, but they do recommend that at the beginning you have 0, because I've never played the game. They recommend that if you never played it before, start with 0, and then maybe you can do later. And there's also a do or die option. So, like, if you mess up, game over. That's an option. I did not choose that option because I want to study it. So, and that's where we are. So now I'm going to play the game again. I'm going to choose different characters to see, okay, how does that change this branching narrative based on the character? Because the personalities of the characters changes things in some way. So what is it changing? That's what I want to find out. So I'm going to play I set up some new characters last time. I'm just going to choose those. Or not. Let's see. No, I'm going to start over. We're going to start a new one. It's really nice that they let you load wherever you want, and here it auto saves for you. So I'm going to do a new story. I'm going to start with Age of Ulstrix again. That's the one we're doing. Because I want to see... I want to do storyteller difficulty. That's what I did last time. And carved in stone. This is the one. All progress is auto. Game over is final. No retries, no reloads. I'm going to just do the same thing I did last time. Mods. You can add mods, and they allow mods. They allow some customization to this game, which I didn't really get into. But I want to make sure that I'm picking different characters this time. And so, yeah, there is a little bit... All of these guys are wearing the same outfit. But there is slight variation in color. So that's something else we know now, is there is some variation in outfits to some degree. But how much variation, not sure. As you can see, the names are randomized. The let's see. I do not want the same... Okay, these are pretty different, so... But I don't want all guys. I want something different. We've already got a Snarky. So we've got a... Why so many Snarks? Okay. Okay. For this time, he's gonna be the coward. He's gonna be greedy, and they're gonna be... Already got a greedy. Fine. Okay. A whole lot of guys rolling this time. Okay, whatever. We will start. All of these maps are procedurally generated, but this part is the same, so what I'm going to be doing is screenshotting this, and you can't even see it because I'm not sharing it. Let me fix that. Now you can see it. Sorry about that. Can I go back? No. But we can look at the character sheets. So I've picked a, for the, I think this is the future warrior. This time it's a guy who's a hot-headed intellectual instead of a bookish poet. And then I've got this one who is the future hunter, and he is an aloof greedwagon. And now I've got a cowardly loner as the future mystic. So I'm just going to do the same thing here. I did not screenshot those people. And I go back and do that. I'll do it this way. I'll just put him there. Enough. So these are the ones I'm doing this time. And this is obviously the same. So I can either screenshot every little thing, or I can just screenshot the differences. I might just screenshot the differences, because this could take a long time otherwise. Yeah, so that's the same. That's the same. Okay, this is different. Okay, the narrative did change. So the first time it said, anything to prove I lived, I guess. Not that I'm giving up. Someone will come, maybe my friends. She's a poetic greedwagon. And why not scribble in a book anyway? No one's going to read it. But he is cowardly loner. Okay. Yeah, this is different. So their personalities do matter. That'll make this the beginning, but all right, this is how I'd started. Here in my yondering country. So this is different. Something in the woods is very strange. Yeah, this changed. He's saying my instead of our, because it seems to me that he's more concerned about himself because he's a loner. So he's not thinking in terms of our. It's just depicting the mornings coming, I guess. So let's see. Concerned with... Yeah, this is different. Okay. So these changed. So concerned with only with idle questions and memories, a young woman named Zavieta takes the seasonal road to the town of Ottergreen. Concerned only with the depth and echo of his own thoughts, a young man named Galadmoth and takes the seasonal road to the town of Plowspring. So the town name is randomized. He is a hot-headed intellectual. She was poet. Bookish poet. Okay. This is also different. It's a timeless problem, the stone and the shoe. And she's thinking about how many times have I walked this old road. She's thinking nostalgia. He's problem solving, I guess. So the nostalgic animal, the human, call me true to my nature then. When should one bend and remove it? When is it finally time? Where's that threshold between discomfort and laziness? I could write a treatise probably. So this is the same. In fact, the whole world is taking a breath, ready to leap in the sea. That's the same. Their expressions are different too. Of course, to go with their personalities. They're already, huh? Here's the hard part. Getting helmed off out of the house. Okay, yeah, these are obviously different. Wonder if his bread baking idea ever worked out, or his dice game, or if he bought that press, or yeah. Okay, this is different. And what was his personality? Aloof, greed wagon. Okay. That's smoke. That's the same. Fluttering flames roost among the far off rooftops. Yeah, this changed. Thinking of a young man he's known since boyhood. Yeah, that obviously changes because of gender and name. So the options are the same. A little bit. This one's different. I'm going to try this one this time because I tried this one last time. The rivalry. Screenshot that. Okay, so you'll see plus rivalry, plus friendship, plus romance. You can choose what type of relationship these different characters have, which also affects the game and the story. So we're choosing rivalry this time. That's different. Okay, that's changed. That changed quite a bit. But yeah, so I'm wondering, it completely skipped that one. It skipped all of it. Hmm. So I'm gonna need to make a note of that somehow. You make that bigger. Make that thicker. Change that color. And went straight through. Well, this map's different too. Maybe it didn't. May not have. Map's different though. So I'm gonna make a note that the map changed. Ugh. The map to the house changed. Intro part. So we're gonna move him. Oh, we could choose to put out fires. Oh, I'm supposed to put out the fires. I never noticed. Let me. Well, I didn't last time. I need to see the map. Come on. Extinguish. Okay. So does that change the dialogue later? Are they all out? No. Oh, it's liquid. I wonder if I could have used it. So I'm gonna make a note that I chose to extinguish the fires. On the way to the house, since I didn't do that last time. I'm wondering if that changed anything. Gonna open the door. So it does skip the dialogue. I'm just going to screenshot and play, and then I will go back and see later if there's like a map. Okay, it is here. Okay. That is here now. Okay, already did that one. Open up, you have to help out here. And that's his response here. It's changed because they're old friends. They're rivals. That's the same. I'm screenshotting it because here, I'm going to come up here and make a note that these are the same. Because it's going to confuse me if I don't. So here's where it starts changing. But this, I don't think... Here, I'm gonna draw a line here and here so that I think it changed. It may not have. I can double check that. With the video. Dialogue's different. Didn't slam. Wonder if it's because he's a coward or because they're friends. Don't know. Or doesn't matter. I don't know why it slammed here but not here. Door's different too. Oh no, the door's still open. Never mind. Looking on the outside. Now it slams. Okay. Wonder why. Yeah. Don't know. Wonder why. And this dialogue changed. So these, what were they? They were things. They were monsters. Yeah, there's things in this street. You didn't see any, like, monsters. I don't know. I've got one trapped behind. That one's this one. I'll clean it up later. That one goes with that one, but the dialogue is different. This one has extra dialogue in it for some reason. Don't know why yet. I'd have to keep starting to do that, which I don't really know that I want to keep doing, but there is, if you wanted to dig in further and see, okay, how many different branching, because there are people that actually do that, especially like in game, the ones that write the game guides and stuff, they for sure do that. So if you want to learn more about games, you can actually just read through game guides and see all the different variations. IGN is a good one. They've got walkthroughs and stuff. They've got a good walkthrough of Persona 5. If you want to study that one. I don't know if they have a walkthrough of Wildermyth. They might. I didn't look at it because I didn't want it to muddy my view of the game at this point. I'll probably go back and look at it later. So I did that one. That is different. So the dialogue's different because it's different. People, personalities, relationships. These all affect the dialogue and apparently the flow. Oh, that's just a mess. And voice now? Not yet. Okay. They just rampaged in all of a sudden. Why not kill it? Right, so here I've got some tools around. Look, I know we're not best friends, but we still find a reason to see each other. Can you help me fight it off? That's different because there's a different relationship, different personality. Now I choose what do I want. So last time I picked the pickaxe. This time I'm gonna pick the pitchfork. Although I am seriously curious what would happen if I picked a frying pan. I'm gonna do the pitchfork this time. Especially if it's wrought iron. That thing's gonna do some damage. It looks wrought iron to me. So choose the pitchfork. Still gonna hurt. I'd like to keep this creature at arm's length. Okay. Sorry if you can hear the lawnmower, the neighbors mowing. Can't believe I'm dying with you. You should be so lucky you're dying alone or not at all. That's different. Okay. Let me just scoot these further out apart before I get any further. Might help with these lines. Yes, it does. Okay. Okay. Now, this foe card has stayed the same. Same foe we had last time. Hooves thrown sloppily around beneath it. It runs staggering, bellowing its agony. The house. I'm not positive if the house is the same or not. But I'm going to go back in. I don't know why it starts me outside the house when the creature's on the other side over here. Gonna open the door. I'm gonna move here. And he's gonna come out and stand. Here. Done. I probably should have stood next to him. So it moved. I'm gonna strike this thing. No, the house might be the same. Okay, so these options changed, but I didn't take pictures of the options, but these are randomized. And if you have, they're randomized to a point. So they're randomized options for this class. So the warrior class. So it's randomized set of options of things, abilities that you can choose. kind of like a card game, I guess, and then you randomly choose 2 cards from the skill pile, and or 3, and you choose which one of those you pick, like that. So, Thundering, once per combat as a swift action. Galadmoth, Galadmoth frightens the enemy, forcing them to spend their next turn running away. After a successful kill, Galadmoth's allies gain +2 speed for this following turn, and as a swift action, can enable disable Stalwart, which grants +3 armor and warding but reduces speed. I don't remember what I picked last time. This. Once per combat. Once per combat. So it's just one time. I'm gonna do that, I guess. And then choosing this one for him. Is that loud? They're getting a lot closer to here, so it might start picking up the mower in a second. Apologize for that. So let's see. Helmdolf's melee and ranged attacks apply 2 hobbled to the enemy. Helmdolf's ranged attacks have 2 pierce. Twice per combat, as a swift action, you can throw a jump jaw trap that will deal 3 damage and pin the first enemy who walks near. I kind of like the hobbled thing. I'm going to do that. And now we have pauldrons, and can choose who gets the pauldrons. Let me know in the chat if you can hear the mower, and I can mute for a second if it's bothering you. I think I'm gonna give it to him. Okay. Now. This one goes with this one. This part's the same, but the dialogue's different. Okay. My neighbor is very kind and mows my lawn for me. So I'm not gonna say, please stop mowing. Okay. Next. They'll spend a piece of the day getting the flames under control. I think this is the same. So even though I put out some flames, it didn't affect that story. I was wondering if it did. It did not. Okay. Wait, is it the same? Then I'll just make a note that it didn't putting out the flames didn't affect that. This decision up here did not affect this story. Okay. Next. Code must already be waiting for us. I hate to say it, but we should both go. Yeah. This character doesn't know the third character. First character, depending on if you're going in order of when they showed up. This, I've played through, this is the third time I played through it, or this part of it, and that seems to be the same. This person never knows the third person. So the, I can write that down. Ranger never knows, or all these questions here, I don't know if they know them. Their relationship's always different. Mystic, warrior. So the relationship is always, there's a known relationship between the warrior and the ranger, and then the warrior and the mystic. What that relationship is up to you to decide. So I can make a note of that. That seems like a constraint. Warrior. Has a childhood relationship with Hunter. Warrior always knows Mystic. Hunter doesn't know Mystic as well. Relationships are to be determined by player. Type of relationship. Let's see. Choose the relationship between warrior and hunter, and warrior and mystic. Warrior is the tie, the common thread. Okay. Okay. way can we leave the town a mess? So, yeah, he's more concerned about the house than the town. He's more concerned about the town. No one's going to steal your stuff. It'll be waiting for us. What happened today could be happening everywhere, couldn't it? A little bit of a different response here. Okay. Something about that tower just stuck in my mind. It's like you get apple skin in your teeth. This is the same. This is the same. Every time I've played it. This one was the same too, right? Wayne. Okay. I think this is the same. Yep. Okay. Is it the same? Except gender? Same except gender. So they follow the pounded path of monstrous feet, hoping for the best, dreading every other possibility. So this is the same except names. Yeah. Same except names. And do I choose a relationship now? Yep. Only 2 options this time. Because we can't have all of them being rivals, I guess. But we can have friendship, because I chose friendship on both of these. So there's another constraint. constraint on rivalry. So they'll be friends. I don't like any of that romance crap. They'll be friends. And so that's another constraint. Okay. So I'm gonna do friendship again. I almost clicked romance. No. No romance. Okay. Let me know if the mower bothers you. Because I don't see it picking up on the mic, but I'm not positive. So this is the same? For some reason, this dialogue changed up here. I'm not sure if it's because they're the number of dialogues here changed. There's this extra dialogue here. I'm not sure if it's because they're rivals or what. I'd have to play it again and see. Okay, that's the same. So you've known Bo longer than I have. Pretty capable, I feel like. So they do know each other, they just don't know each other as well. Wait, so no, it's the... Okay, so I was wrong. So it's not the warrior and the... I mean, hunter and mystic. I wonder if there's... Okay, so then that makes me curious. Now I wonder if there's also a restriction on romance. Okay. Wait. Warrior. Doesn't know. Mystic as well. Hunter always knows Mystic. The hunter always knows the Mystic. Warrior doesn't know Mystic as well. As the... And then players choose the relationships between them. The hunter and the warrior and the hunter and the mystic. Only one rivalry allowed in the group. Wondering if there's only one romance allowed in the group. That would be awkward. Yeah. Now. Okay, that's the same. And that changes a little bit based on their personality. Yeah, a little bit. So the keyword that's changing here, pushy, broody, and their name. Depending on their personality. Name and description. Right, trait. I guess that's a trait. The name and the trait change. Everything else stays the same. Weird things tend to happen around them, but I'd say probably up there now. Same except gender. Okay. This is probably the same. Yep. How long is this? Because that's a lot of stuff to move. Kind of want to move it. That's the same. And I'm guessing that's the same. Except names. The maps are procedurally generated. So first time I played through this new area was south. And the second time I played it, the new area was over here. So this time it's here. So all of these world maps are procedurally generated. Not sure that the like the maps that are of the combat areas are procedurally generated or not. I need to go back and check the video to see if it was the same as this time because I didn't screenshot the map of the combat. But it might be slightly. I'm not sure. I'm not positive. It felt different this time, but it has also been a week since I played it last, so or over a week. So and now we choose who travels. Because I guess as we continue to play the game, we're going to add more people to the group and we can choose. And there's a limited size party of up to 5, it looks like. This totally feels like Pillars of Eternity, for sure. time passes, time matters, all that. Okay, is this the thing? Except for names. Had arranged to meet. Names is a place they often use to escape as a... Yeah, so same except... Names, gender. Okay. Yeah. Same except gender. Pronoun. I guess that's pronoun. Yeah. We're thinking about writing. I don't even remember all the terms for writing. Pronouns, adjectives. Remember those? Verbs, nouns. There's a whole bunch more that I don't remember. Name. Dust gets deep as rain puddles in here. That's the thing. Alive is alive, though. Better not be, maybe, if that piece breaks through. A little bit different. Didn't say anything. Okay. I didn't go through and take pictures of the things that were not dialogue. I just screenshot the dialogue. These are different. Slightly. That's different. Guessing changed based on personality. This is different. The tower has outlived generations. Now it's little more than a strange nest for spiders, owls, and interesting lovers. It's picturesque, old tower, perfect for a plot twist. Yep. She might have... Wait, was she bookish? Let's see. Poetical. Okay. So greed wagon may be why they said people would pay to see you. And he's a loner. Cowardly loner. So it is changing based on personality. As the old will tell you, precious things go overlooked in a ruin. What lodges amid the bones of failure is often the dream that drove it. So this is the same. That's the same. That's the same. Same. Same except name. That's the same. Same. I think the stories change that you read here. The same. Let's see. Yep. Different. Yep. These are randomized, I think. They're either randomized or so against the ceiling, wishing himself through it too far around without grown-ups. So they're either randomized or they're based on personality. I would need to check that. I would have to look at that a little closer to check that to see which one. Is it randomized or is it based on personality of the person reading it? Don't know right now. But they're... I don't think I've read the same story twice. Coinclaw Bear and the Benstrom Fox is mostly a conversation between a miserly bear and a traveling fox. In the final sentence, the fox stamps the bear's soul into a coin and sends him around the world on the current of exchange. Okay. These are randomized, so I'm not going to draw a comparison. But they've never been the same so far. Spins the yarn of a mother who drank so much and laughed so freely, she grew a beautiful spiral horn. Her children were very proud. All right. Proud that she... Okay. Same except name. Okay. Same except pronoun. The same. And this is different. This is the same as it was at the beginning. Same dialogue. And this is where it picks up. So there is the very beginning, this book, there's room in it for another story. So I'm going to draw a line. Ugh. I'm going to draw a line from here to here. Can't see through the UI. Okay. And then that's going to be this kind so that it doesn't take up the whole thing. That's where we started. So I want to do that better. That's a kind of a bracket. So there are brackets here. Somewhere. Let's see. Okay. I want that to be different. Okay. Because that is... Yeah. Okay. That's where it picks up at the beginning. These are the same, except what he says here. That's based on personality. I think that's based on personality. This is the same. Except gender and name. And same. Same. How much more I got here? Quite a bit. Okay. Name except name. Same. And same except gender, pronoun. Here. Same. Okay. Ugh. Same. Now I have a choice. It's the same choice. Still kind of know what still kind of want to know what happens with the spoon. I don't want to know what happens with the spoon. I'm really tempted to pick the spoon. I'm gonna pick the spoon, see what happens. What happens? This changed. The image, of course, is different. Well, this is based on his personality. But the image is different because he's holding a spoon now, a very clean spoon, instead of the staff. Yeah, there's a battle here. Wait, I can cook? Yeah. Okay. So I have to interfuse something because that's how the mystic works. Then interfuse, cooking pot. Moment. I'm gonna interfuse cabinet. Do a splinter blast on the creature. I don't think it changed my ability. I use a spoon. So randomized options again for if I have LP, which is the like you have to earn that legacy points. You can change stuff, re-roll, but I don't have any. I'm not sure how you earn them right now. I haven't gotten far enough into the game to earn them. So once per turn, as a single action, Bode pulls motes of heat out of the air and gathers them into a single point, creating an interfused blaze on a tile with debris. When Bode takes damage for each interfused object, 1 point is prevented and the object takes 2 instead. Or we've got advanced interfusions. We're gonna do plants, trees. I don't want to try that. And now I have a scarf. And the scarf is updated with the character art, the spoon, and the scarf. Okay. Wait. Spoon doesn't seem to affect ability. I didn't notice. This is the same except the name. Same except pronoun. That's different. Okay, same. That's the same. Same. It's different. Suddenly I could listen to the bookcase, talk to the flame. I feel the sweetness in that onion plant. Onion plant is sweet? Those are different. And these are different. Yeah, this is slightly different. This boulder I'm next to, yeah. Slightly different. See the smoke on the horizon? That's the town. Different town. Except town name. And I don't know if you've seen something quite like this. This is the same. That's the same. I think that's probably the same. Yep. And I guess that was it. This was skipped. Discovered a new site. Use my party. Let's go. Okay. So no, it didn't skip. Okay. It is different. Let's see. These beasts are. This is the same. It's different. Now I choose. The keys that just came out of there. Same options. Gonna choose this one this time. This is just changing the stats on your character for battle stuff. So +2 damage potency. These are the same enemies. Those choices just affect your battle stats. The rivalry, friendship thing affects your party dynamics. Should probably write that down. Yeah. Wow, this is long. Choice of relationship effects, party dynamics, characteristic, like stoicism, courage, effect, battle, stats. Okay, so I need to go for the day. I think this is a lot. Almost done, but I really need to go. Got other things to do. I'll finish that up and I will make something of this and report out what I learned from it. Maybe in a video or something. And we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. And then next time we're going to continue studying branching narrative, but we're going to do a different game next time. So I will, thanks for hanging out. I will see y'all next time. Have a good rest of your day and weekend.